everyone. Welcome to the Half Hollow Hills Park. I'm sitting in the bocce courts. So if you're ever in the mood for bocce, come to Half Hollow Hills Park and you can play soccer, you can play bocce ball, you can play on the swings on the playground over in the corner there. It's a wonderful, huge park. It's right across from the greens over here in Dix Hills. So I'm here today and I'm going to be sharing a very fun book. I think it's a great book to start the summer, Queen Victoria's Bathing Machine. And it's based on a true story. Queen Victoria, as a monarchy, wasn't allowed to be seen in anything as unbecoming as a swimsuit. So she wanted to be able to swim, and her husband made a bathing machine for her. And it was basically a closet that rolled her down the beach and into the water. And she was able to hop out the back in her bathing costume and enjoy a swim in the sea without becoming seen by the public, or even her staff wasn't allowed to see her in a bathing costume. So I hope you enjoy the story and come down to Half Hollow Hills Park. Queen Victoria's Bathing Machine. Words by Gloria Whalen and pictures by Nancy Carpenter. Queen Victoria looked out to sea. It was blue. It was cool. It was as nice as could be. The day was hot. The sun was so bright. Her petticoats itched and her corset was tight. She whispered a wish. It was only a whim. How grand it would be to go for a swim. Her lady-in-waiting collapsed on the floor. I've never heard such nonsense before. Impossible, she cried. It would be a disgrace to see more of the Queen than her hands and her face. How would she get from the beach to the water without showing more of herself than she ought to? The Queen sighed a sigh. Oh, I'll give up the notion. I'll never be allowed to enter the ocean, for how can I swim if I wear all my clothes, my petticoats and dresses, my shoes and my hose? They'd get drippy and slushy and soggy and sodden, and down I would sink, right to the bottom. My dear, said Prince Albert, if it is your wish to dabble and splatter and swim like a fish, there must be a way to transport you with ease while keeping the populace from glimpsing your knees. I'll give all my genius and all my attention to devise a device to invent an invention. Albert was learned. Albert was bright. Albert was nearly always right. He'd been everywhere, from Denmark to Munich. He studied old wars, both Spartan and Punic. His knowledge of battles no one could fault. He'd read dozens of books on the catapult. It hurled heavy rocks in the air, chucking them easily from here to there. Victoria, dear, it might be romantic to be launched from your window into the Atlantic, moving so quickly you would never show as much as a peak of your royal toe. But Albert, the English, you know how they shoot partridge and pheasants, mergansers and coot. Whatever is up in the air, they bring down and roast it and toast it to a crispy brown, to have for their breakfast, to have with their tea. I'm sure you don't wish that to happen to me. Just after midnight, Albert sprang from the bed. A brilliant idea had come into his head. Wake up, dear Victoria, your worries are over. You can swim all the way from Osborne to Dover. They waltzed, they mazurked, they danced a polka or two, then they collapsed on their bed with their nightcaps askew. First thing in the morning, Albert got busy. His imperial demands made everyone dizzy. I must have some wood. Quick, cut down a tree, dig up some stones, and send them to me. Get me a wheelwright, get me a mason. Victoria's splashing shan't be confined to a basin. Albert sawed lumber, he pounded some nails, he ordered 4 wheels, he laid down stone rails. He constructed a room with nary a frown, he fashioned a porch with steps to climb down. When all was completed, it was fit for a queen. Victoria, I've made you a bathing machine. Let me tell you, my dear, what I propose. You enter the back door wearing all of your clothes. Off comes your dress, off comes your rings, off come all those unmentionable things. You put on your suit as quick as can be, and the bathing machine will roll into the sea. Once out on the porch, the curtain will hide you while your lady-in-waiting hovers beside you. You climb down the steps in perfect repose into the ocean right up to your nose. No one will get so much as a peep except for the creatures down in the deep. You're a genius, dear Albert. I'm truly excited. We'll have all the workmen feted and knighted. She entered the bathing machine by the door. Off came her corset, 10 petticoats, and more. The windows were shuttered from prying eyes, and her lady-in-waiting covered her eyes. Goodbye to the land, goodbye to the turf. Victoria rode the waves and dove into the surf. Dog paddle, butterfly, side stroke, and crawl, the buoyant Victoria attempted them all. She plunged and she pitched, she rolled and she wallowed. With water all around her, some of it swallowed. 2 sailors on a frigate were having a tiff. One said a flatboat, one said a skiff. It must be a schooner that hoisted a sail. If it gets closer, we'll give it a hail. It's taking the shape of a soup tureen. Belay and avast, I believe it's our queen. Victoria, unaware of her subject's surprise, carried on with her watery exercise. Tuna and turtles and salmon and flounder tickled her toes and swam all around her. With a splash and a skitter and a final rinse, the grateful Victoria returned to her prince. The end.